Welcome back. In this video, we will learn how to do a market research, study and spy on your competition, look for profitable businesses, and find your niche. Okay, great. So now that you found a common language to communicate with your customers, and you are both on the same page, it's time to move one step further and do some market research. But before we do that, let's think about a frustrating and heartbreaking question, which is, should I follow my passion or instead follow the money? The answer should be both. You need to create services or products that combine your passion with a profitable and marketable idea. Otherwise, you won't be able to go far. Or you might be stuck with a hobby or not profitable business, which is okay if that's what is you are looking for. For you as an entrepreneur to win in the long run, you should always be thinking like a successful long-term investor. Sit back, look at the bigger picture, then ask yourself, does this idea worth my time, energy, and money? Let's take this simple scenario. Imagine yourself as a French chef who just immigrated to the United States and wanted to start your fast food restaurant. And you have no clue or information about the fast food industry in the United States. What should you do to know that your idea worth pursuing it or not? Well, you can go out and start asking and looking around. Or you can be more sophisticated and use the power of the internet to your advantage. Let's start searching, starting from the bigger picture, then narrowing it down into the small details. Our first question would be, how large is the fast food industry in the United States? Pick one of the top 5 search results, and you should be able to get a good source of information. In this research, we see that the fast food industry is a $200 billion industry, which is a quite large industry, with a 30% plus growing market share for a hamburger focus, which is large enough for you to capture a small slice. Make sure to pick other resources and double check information. And as you can see that the fast food industry is a growing industry and the numbers almost matches. Our second question would be, how much does the average American consumer spend on fast food? As you can see that the spending habits of the average American is $100 a month or $12.50 per meal. Their age is mostly young, between 18 and 29 years old. Most consumers are with a household income of $75,000 a year, which is quite the opposite of what you might expect. Keep in mind that all of that information is on average and not as specific as you may want. Use them as a guideline to have a better understanding of your market. Our third question would be, what is the profit margin in the fast food industry? Profit margin means how much profit can you make on each burger you sell. Don't worry about this concept yet. We will explore this question in more specific details when we talk about the basics of accounting later in this course. So the result is, fast food restaurant would use frozen bulk food with high customer turnover, which causes them less to make and enjoy a higher profit margin. On the other hand, food trucks don't have to worry about rent and high overhead costs, which makes them gain a higher overall profit. A higher profit margin would make your work worth the effort and make it faster to you to reach your monthly break-even point and enjoy the extra profit. Our fourth and last question for this exercise would be, which are the best cities to start a restaurant in the United States? You want to be looking for the top growing area in terms of your industries. You should try to step away from declining or non-growing areas. Okay, so now that you have an idea about growing cities, let's start to narrow our research down to the micro level. Let's visit Yelp.com or TravelAdvisor.com or any platforms that provide relevant information about your specific industries, such as nearby places, prices, and customer reviews. Let's first do a quick search for a fast food restaurant in Texas cities. And as you can see, that 300 restaurants in Texas City will be competing with you on fast food. You should study and compare each group on price and category, since most of them would be competing with you on customers' fast food spending. Now, let's narrow it down to Cedar Park, and the result will be that 2/3 of fast food restaurants are located in this area. Your job is to go through some of those restaurants and read customers' reviews. Search and find for patterns of what people do like and dislike. Look for underserved area usually has to do with the quality of the product, price, customer service, or the environment. Now that you have a clear view of your market and competition, it's time for more in-depth research. Pick some of the best and worst places according to customer review on the list and plan for a visit. In this case, I have chosen Bubas. You should plan on studying their location and how do people reach them, the environment and the mood of the place. You should be able to understand for which type of people is this place designed for. Their best-selling products, taste and price. How do they sell? Is it in-store experience or do they reach their customers by different distribution channels? How do they advertise to their customers? Bubas does advertise on Yelp, which is quite smart. This is where people do expect to look for restaurants. On the other hand, they don't do any Google or paid ads, unlike the Pizza Hut, where they spend tons of money on displaying advertising. Now that you have a basic idea about your industry, market, and competition, let's do a simple study on the average household income for a different type of people of this area. Once you can understand the household income of a specific group of audience, you can design offers and product that fits their purchasing power. Okay, but you might ask, why should I do all of this study and hard work? And the answer is easy. If you get into the same industry in a different market with a condition where the market is already saturated, you have to compete with thousands of established restaurants with a high advertising budget and low profit margin. While you are starting out with a small budget, you will stand for a very little to no chance to survive. Now that you have an idea about how to make a research of your industry, you should also understand what type of products or services usually have a high demand in the market. If you are into information product or consulting, then these are some of the high demand categories. Healthy organic food and fitness, relationship, dating advice and better sex life, how to make, save or invest money, and expensive hobbies. On the other hand, if you are more into consumer goods for online commerce, then you have customized clothing, makeup and healthcare, pets care and food, electronic devices, kids and baby, jewelry, and adult toys. You should always be looking and studying for the best-selling products in your industry, then combining your skills and talent to come up with services and products that are marketable within your market-best categories. This does not mean that you should not try your unique ideas. I'm just trying to show you what does the market looks like. With all of that information in your hand, you should be able to decide whether you take the chance and keep going with your idea, or change your mind and exit with no money invested yet. You should also be thinking, narrowing down your service to fit a specific niche in your category. For example, if you are in the category of photography, then you might narrow it down to wedding photography. Or better, to narrow it further to wedding photography to a specific age of people or a unique style that you will be identified with. Instead of competing with everyone, you should be focusing on and be targeting your niche toward a specific group of audience and mirror their image and needs. There where the money is, and people will be more willing to exchange their money for quality and well-designed product that fits their specific needs. Keep in mind that you can always begin with one product, expand into different offerings over an extended period. Or you can also start with various offerings, find your audience, then narrow it down into manageable and clear business. In the end, your goal should be to avoid cluttered and undefined products that talks to everyone and ends up helping no one. Also be aware of seasonal businesses and products such as soft drinks, holiday gifts and ice cream, and how would you manage your sales and cash flow once the seasons end. Okay, so that was a lot to take in. Let's summarize this part. First, you should be looking for a profitable industry that combines your passion with a marketable business. Second, think like an investor and follow your effort. Third, understand your industry on a deep level. Fourth, study your competition. Fifth, don't fear some competition. Some competition means that there is a need for your idea. Sixth, try to avoid declining, saturated, and unprofitable businesses. Also, when you are starting out, try to prevent an entirely new idea. New ideas require changes in consumer behaviors. That is hard and requires tons of money for marketing and consumer education. And last but not least, try to find a simple, low cost to start, practical idea that reflects your skills. Okay, so now we reach your assignment part. For your assignment for this week, you will need to study an industry. Pick an industry that you are interested in or your industry. Research the growth and the categories of the industry in your country. Find 4 related businesses. Study 2 businesses that you admire and 2 businesses that you dislike. Can you find any gap or missing opportunity to serve? Take your time and do the research. Have some fun. If you have any question, please leave your question in the Q&A section. Take care for now. I will see you in the next video.